What's up, YouTube? I got kind of a fun video today. We just have a little ICF crawl space, a conditioned crawl space, if you will. Really believe that it is best practice if you're gonna have crawl spaces. And really took this job. It's a friend of my wife's. He was gonna DIY it himself. He'd had a lot of problems. This house burned down, and he had had a lot of problems from a few subs that tore it down and hauled it off. So I was trying to kind of get him back on track, and we had sold him all the supplies to do it. And then I realized there'd be a little bit of content here that I could help him with. And one is Joey from fab-form gave me some fast pads, which are barely like something he even talks about anymore, but it's a really cool product he's got for Pier pads. And his fast tube is obviously one of his newest, most innovative products, and I wanted to kind of show those off for a crawl space situation. And my ego, I decided I wanted to monopore them, which very few people do, and I'm not sure there's a lot of benefit in. But the main point of the video is the way the vapor barriers need to be installed properly, which I'll have in a later video. But the way they need to be installed, his Pier pads actually set you up to make that a lot easier. And I'll show you that in a later video, and I probably talk about it in this video. But this is more of a humbling video for me because I got my absolute butt kicked yesterday on a 15-yard, 30-inch tall crawl space. I'll just tell you, the little things that I teach about in training, like, you know, have a pump driver you know and work with. Wasn't the pump driver's fault, but he showed up in John's truck. It was John's truck. You guys know John, but John's on vacation, and his trim hose wasn't in the truck. And it's just something I take for granted because John knows I want a trim hose. So he's got this big rubber hose, and he's blasting into this thing. It was fine, but it was just a little detail. One of the concrete trucks had the panel on the side of the truck came loose, dumped concrete all over the freaking street in the middle of the pour. Then we were mono-pouring these things, and it went okay. It was a little bit of a learning curve, and Joey sent me 2 versions of the pads because he wanted my opinion, which is cool that he values my opinion, and I was glad to try. One of them was a little, in my opinion, better than the other, but I'm sitting there kind of learning monoing those at a certain slump. Then we start filling the wall. But the big detail is my main Amish crew has been off for several months building their own farms. I have one of them still working, and my old carpenter. They know how to do this stuff, but they typically have a couple of the other old boys watching them. I gave them punch lists. I saw the things in their hands to do it, and there was a couple I's dotting and T's crossing that didn't happen. I didn't notice. And one is we used the Z brace from fab-form, and that's a very robust brace. But I told them, I'm like, hey, if we cut any webs on the inside, you got to go brace the outside. And they didn't. I told them, but I didn't check. And that's huge. I got past the first one, no hiccups, went fine, great. The second one, I'm in here blasting, and I blew out a 30-inch wall. ICF Guru blew out a 30-inch wall. Now you keep in mind, at my training events, I build about a 6 or 7 foot wall, and I blow it out on purpose to train how to deal with the blowout. And we have failed to blow that out after booby trapping it, cutting it, hitting it with a hammer as many times as we've successfully blown it out. It's almost comical how hard it is to blow something out. And I blow out a 30-inch wall. Now the slump, they put a lot of water in it. It was probably running a 6, and he was just hammering. And I was more concerned with this end wall of the garage wall. And we blew it out. So anyway, I don't think I show this because I'm pretty sure I was cussing too much in that video to put it out without getting demonetized. But the real point of this video is I really want to show you how stinking cool Joey's Piers are. And I probably don't know that you need to mono them, but I think the pads are great. The pillar is no brainer. I wouldn't do a pillar any other way, ever. It's just a better product than cardboard. Hands down. No question, no debate, it's better in every way. But the pads are pretty neat. If, you know, I know Joe will tell you if you want them, you can get them. I think it's a product worth existing. So stay tuned. Here comes the video. Watch me get my butt kicked. What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna get to show you something a little bit different today that I used to do a lot of back in the day, but I don't build a lot of houses anymore, and this house burned down a few months back. Was supposed to do this back in the winter, and now of course pool season's popping off and I gotta get this done. But want to talk a minute about conditioned crawl spaces. If you live in a part of the world, part of the country that does crawl spaces more so than slab on grade. The Ozarks is definitely a market like that. Nashville is a market like that. One of the trends with, when you have an HVAC company or builders that really get efficiency, is a cheat code is to do an insulated conditioned crawl space. You have to do a true, impervious vapor barrier on the floor, and you have to insulate the walls of your concrete, and then you have to condition it as well with the HVAC system, meaning it's a very small amount of ventilation, but it does have to circulate the air, which is usually pretty easy because your ductwork is already down in the crawl space. Cheat code for doing this. I know a guy in Nashville who makes a ton of money doing this because Nashville still builds a lot of CMU block foundations on multi-million-dollar houses. It blows my mind. Then they pay him a bunch of money to come in and glue 2-inch foam or spray closed cell foam on the cinder blocks to insulate them. And then he comes in with 10 or 20 mil plastic, which is 6 mils code, but generally speaking, we'll probably use 10 mil on this one. You have to put that down. He puts it everywhere and has to go around all the piers and tape it, and it's very tedious. Yeah, so guys, so it's a very tedious process if you don't plan ahead. The easiest way to insulate a foundation, guys, is ICF, obviously. I mean, duh, right? But when used in conjunction with fab-forms, bagged footing, the original fab-form, and their fast tubes. I've got 2 different versions of their fast pad, which is a thing they don't even market very heavily, but he wanted me to try both versions of them. I have a very specific winner, in my opinion, just because of what we're trying to do with the vapor barrier, which I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But come on in here and I'm going to show you kind of the anatomy of this pour real quick. Okay, guys, so the first thing is obviously the fast tube. That's their new kind of flagship product. And we braced it pretty much like normal. My guys, of course, they don't always listen to me. They like things to take as long as possible. And they did this bracing a little overkill, but because we're mono pouring it, I didn't really mind. It's fine. But this is one of their original fast pads. It's kind of a felt product. It's got a hole the diameter of the tube. And I'll have to hold that up when they start pumping down in here. It'll fill the bag. So we're gonna mono pour, footing at the same time. Now, because this is felt, this is not waterproof. And because of that, I've laid a piece of fab-form under it. Just like over here on my footing, I've got my fabric right here. And when we're done, I will be able to just roll my plastic to right here. A lot of guys have to run it all the way up to the framing, but my waterproofing on the outside, this is not in contact with the ground. This fabric here goes all the way under my footing and will be attached to the waterproofing on the outside, which I'll probably show you in a later video when I actually get done and get ready to leave here. That said, over here is their other fast pad, and they have different sizes, but this one is 2 foot by 10 inch thick, and it's got the hole in the middle. It's got a little zipper to get it around if you're using a sauna tube, which I don't know why you would. But the thing I like about this is it's already got the waterproof. It's made of the waterproof fabric, so I don't have to put anything under it. I literally set it exactly where it goes. It's got markings. It's got a crosshair on the bottom. I take my piece of rebar and just sit it right on there, and we're done. So I got 16 of these pads to do, guys. I haven't ever mono poured the Pier pads with the Piers. I've done both, never together. Should be fine. This whole thing's like 15 yards. It's a super simple deal, but it's got a regular crawl door. I'll have to glue a piece of foam to the back of that to keep it insulated. And then maybe down the road, I'll get the HVAC guy to kind of walk you through the calculations. This is probably a 1,200 square foot footprint, maybe 1,500. The last one I did was over 2,000 square feet, and it required a single 6-inch return that just punched through the floor from the mechanical room. And then on the very far end of the crawl, at the very end of the ductwork, it had, I want to say, like a 3 by 14 regular vent And so it basically had that small amount of air was enough, and you could go down there. That crawl space was as comfortable as the house. By the time we put the plastic down on our 3H gravel, it's just gonna be super comfortable, not dank and musty and moldy and soaking into your joists and everything. So guys, it's the way to do a crawl space if crawl spaces are a thing in your market. Could not recommend them more. Here comes the pour. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Now, nice and easy. I didn't zip it back up, that was on me. Love it. Here. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. We got this down. Third time's the charm, guys. First two were kind of a mess. Learned a little bit, and now we're good to go. So, a couple things. Joey asked me to see if I like the felt ones or the fabric ones better. Definitely like the fabric ones better. Two reasons for that. Is the mic working? Okay. Two reasons I like the fabric one better is because half of my purpose here, this one didn't get cut off, boys. Oh, yeah, it did. But half of the purpose of these is that it's got a vapor barrier built in. So this one I don't have to put fast foot under, but it also just, the other ones have way too big of a hole in the top. They're more, it'd be fine for a regular pier, but mono pouring, it's not good. These are way better. The ones made out of the fast foot fabric. So he's gonna get it pretty full. And then we're gonna hold up for a second. I'm gonna zip it back up. Hold up. Okay, grab that zipper and shut her back up, kind of right around the bottom of it. And then, okay. All right, let's go one more time. And we're pouring it about a 3.5 to 4 slump too, guys. We're really not trying to ask too much of the system, but, okay, one sec. Grab me the vibrator, Petey, you'll be off camera. Get in close, get in close. Just give me the stinger, okay? Here, hold on. Okay, turn it on. Okay, back. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're good. Here, let me, all right, now I got the fabric up. Go for it. It's okay. Yeah, I realized that you leaned on it and I saw it move. That's fine. Well, hey, we got time to write it. I mean, after. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. And we're good. Cool. Okay. Now, Petey, off camera, if you want to start magging these off flat, that'd be awesome. Okay. Nope. Just, you just look. Hey, right here. Just like that. Okay. Do that though. Spank it a little bit. Okay. All right, guys, so now we've got all the piers done. And this is a 30-inch ICF wall. This is baby stuff. Pucker factor of 0.3 on the 1 to 10 scale. It's basically a 0. There's still some really dry mud in here, but we put about 5 gallons in 5, or 10 gallons in 5 yards, so it's gonna get a lot wetter here in a minute. Keith is gonna follow me and vibrate. We'll go over that a little bit in detail too. Okay, guys, so the first 30 feet of this was a pretty big struggle to get the dry stuff that we had used on the piers to come out of the pump. It was very splattery. I mean, I got absolutely caked in concrete splatter. I probably ate half a pound of concrete, and it was pretty frustrating. Wasn't real good video. So we got, you can see here, it's more like a 5 slump now. And it's going a lot smoother. And yeah, so we're just rolling along. The clip of the blowout is at the very end. It's in vertical format. I was shooting content for Element that they like to have in vertical format. So we had switched over. Wasn't really planning on catching something like that. but it happened, and it's at the very, very end of the video. I just included it for fun, but you'll hear me talking to the pump guy about, I was aware there was a vulnerability there with the buck on the garage header, but did not see the T that we had missed the outside bracing on the T. And you'll see the concrete drop away right there at the end. But you can see how good he's got that mud now. We're running at about a 6 on that last truck, and it was just flowing beautiful. They hit it with a vibrator behind me, and went great. I don't want to put a ton of pressure on that buck, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to go around the corner and just kind of whip it back in there, okay? Good. Gotta pin me in here. Oh, fiddlesticks. Hey! All right, guys, it is hard enough to shoot video while we're pouring when things are going good. So obviously here I had to kind of just stop, get everything right. I actually went over and poured the rest of the garage wall while my guys kind of dug out the wheelbarrow or so of concrete that fell out of the hole, got it out of the way, and put the foam back in and braced it up where I could finish the pour, which I'm doing right now. Really didn't end up hurting us at all. Just, I hate messing up, and especially the homeowner was standing in the backyard watching it all, just excited, and having a hiccup like that's humbling. But probably good for us to have stuff like that happen every once in a while. We have training in about a week for ICF and pools. Looking forward to that, bringing you a lot more content this spring, guys. Stay tuned.